So, hi Elaine, and welcome.
Hello to you, and thanks for having me on tonight.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you. And I was thinking for people who don't know who you are, your name is Elaine Thorpe, and you are a trance medium. But can you explain a little bit before we bring in your guide, Jonathan Hunt?
Yeah, that's fine. Yes,
Yeah.
if you want me to explain what it's about, well, when I first started, after a few months, my guide begun to show himself. He came through to speak, and of course, when he comes through, he steps into my energy, which expands as I go into a relaxed state. And once I'm relaxed enough, he steps into the energy and starts to blend his energy with mine. And then he manipulates my vocal cords and speaks through my vocal cords as a physical voice. So as he is just spirit, he can only think the conversation. So he thinks it, and then it comes out through my voice as a physical voice, because he's consciousness, a spirit, and we're physical, so we have a physical voice. So they use our physical voice, and they are the thought. So what they want to say as a thought comes out as words. And that's how it works, with any trance medium. That's how the guide will work. They will have to learn how to manipulate the energy of the human being and manipulate the vocal cords to speak through. And of course, there is the mind, that they use our mind as well as their consciousness. So there's two consciousnesses joining together as one, and a physical voice comes through that. It's about.
I can say that some people are a bit skeptical, but I know one woman I showed her you, and she thought, she said, "Is she not reading it?" No, she's not. And I told her I've had Jonathan private, so I know that it is for real. It's not like any. It's not
Did
trick.
you think it was, a man in the room or something?
Yeah, she thought maybe you were sitting reading something and someone else was speaking. I don't know what she thought, but I said it's not like that because I've had Elaine and Jonathan a lot of times, so I know it's for real. So
so I suppose she probably thought that there was a man, and I would sort of learn how to speak while he speaks. I've had that happen before, but
of course it is real. Maybe for some people it's difficult to understand how it works.
It is. It takes a lot to understand it. People who haven't come across this before, and it's new to them. Some of them sort of just treat it like it's a clairvoyant reading. They don't understand that it's a spirit guide, and some others are quite intrigued with it. It's something different, and others, of course, are mediums themselves that come to me, and they know what to expect. They understand the basics of trance, and sometimes the advanced trance, they understand how it works, so they can relate to it more. Whereas if you're new to it, it can be quite a little bit daunting. It's just, well, is that person really speaking through them? Or they may have a skeptical mind, or they may not be tuning in properly. It does take a lot to, if it's new to you, to understand what it's about. So it takes a bit of explaining. So for anyone that hasn't experienced trance, and they want to see it, and read up on it first, read up what it's about, and then you'll have an idea of, when you go to see a medium like that, you know what to expect.
Yes. It's different with a trance medium. I would like to. I think because it's directly.
Yes, yeah. I mean, I've spoken to spirits through a trance medium myself, having sat in a group of them, and it is quite an unusual experience, sitting talking to their guide, and sometimes you get lost for words and you don't know what to say, and and you feel disrespectful because you don't know what to say. So I can understand how these people feel that are new to it. They sort of get stuck for words, and they think, oh, I'm speaking to a soul and I don't know what to say. So some of them come prepared with questions, and some of them don't know what to ask. So basically, he'll help them through it. He'll give them information that helps them to relax and to begin to feel at home with him. Some people just take to it straight away. It's different for everybody.
Well, I have some questions here today for Jonathan from some friends of mine.
Yeah.
So if you would like to bring him through.
Okay.
Yeah.
Music?
Yeah, that's fine. That's okay.
Okay.
I know you work a lot, you paint and so on.
Yes, yeah. I've just done one today, actually. I'll show it to you before you start. You might not be able to see it.
Yes, I saw that one on your page. It's lovely. They all are, of course.
Yeah.
I don't know how you get all the time to paint so much.
I know. Tell me about it. I have to just cram everything into the day. I have to walk out and get my exercise. Sometimes I do the paintings, and then there's other household things to do. So I have to try and cram it all in. But I love it anyway. But sometimes I get a bit tired. It's okay. If I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't do it. But I'm absolutely loving it. Okay.
Yes. Well.
I'm ready.
Yes.
Hello, my dear.
Hello, Jonathan, and welcome.
I thank you.
Yes. Are you fine?
I am mighty fine, yes.
Yes. This evening, I do have some questions from some friends I've put out on the internet for you to answer. Is that fine?
Quite happy to answer those for you, yes.
Thank you. Well, I have from Malin Nilsson. She would like to know when the soul settles in the mother or in the body or womb or what you call it, and if the child chooses the parents.
Well, she is perfectly right, because the soul chooses the parentage simply because it may have incarnated with those souls in previous lifetimes, and there may be things to overcome in this lifetime, or to perhaps progress from for each other's souls' journeys. So yes, the soul will know who it is going to be with, know everyone it is going to meet in its lifetime, and as soon as conception takes place, the soul enters into the fetus, you see, into the division of the cells, and it is already preconceived. So I would say to you, as soon as conception takes place, the soul enters.
Oh, so it doesn't come and go then?
No.
No?
Once the soul comes to the earth, that is it. The soul will come to the earth in the physical to live a physical life. If the woman miscarries, then the soul will return to spirit again until a most suitable time when it can happen again.
Well, question number 2, Josephine, she asks why somebody is born like into a woman and then suddenly wants to become a man. Why is it like that, and vice versa?
Well, I would say that sometimes when the soul comes into the world, they will choose what sex they are going to be. But maybe there is something that they can learn from the femininity side of life, you see, and they feel right with experimenting with that feminine nature that they want to experience in this physical lifetime. But unfortunately, it is not to be gendered really, because I will say to you, no matter if you are bringing out your masculine or feminine side, it is what you have chosen to experience in this lifetime. So when they come back in a woman's body and want to be a man, or they come back in a man's body and want to be a woman when they are adult, I would say that, we are not going to be judging that. They are wanting to experiment what it feels like to be in that feminine or masculine energy. But unfortunately, they feel like they are in the wrong body. They are just in a body. A body does not matter to the soul. What matters is the experience of unconditional love in physical form. But in the physical, it does matter to the human being, because maybe there is an expectancy or a wanton to be of the opposite sex.
Okay. And then I have a question. Why is there so many souls who incarnate, come to the world with different disorders today, like autism and all?
Well, sometimes we are, as souls, accepting that the physical body may have fault within it. The physical body is made up of physical flesh, and of course sometimes can be at fault. Or if you have an injury, it may leave you disabled. And of course we know that these physical bodies are not always completely correct. And so disablement may be present either in birth or may appear later on in life, you see. But a lot of this autism comes from the food and all of these additives within these foods that the mother has ingested. So you see, a lot of what they put into your foods these days is causing these problems. And of course, you would say, well, the child hasn't been born yet, but you've got to remember that whatever the mother ingests while that child is forming, then the child is going to be growing on that, you see. It is feeding the womb, feeding the fetus, feeding the baby that has grown, and it is going to be born being fed upon the food that the mother has ingested. And if it is not healthy, then problems can begin in the womb.
Okay, well, thank you. And then I have from Lotta. She wishes that a relative of hers, who has passed over, of course, why she never can feel him.
Well, you know, when we are in this world, we do not have any concept of time, and we know that you have time in your world. But I think that sometimes you are perhaps craving too much for that person. You are not holding them back in any way spiritually, but you are craving it so much and wanting it so much that it's just not happening. But sometimes they will pick the absolute perfect time in your life to connect with you once again, and it will be worth the wait, I can tell you. And it is not the connection that is always needed to be seen or heard. They are with you. It is just that you are wanting it so much, it's not seemingly happening. But I will tell you about Elaine's brother. He didn't connect with her for many, many years. He first connected with her briefly when she was 15 years old in her father's circle. And then after that, he never came to see her, although she thought he didn't, but he did. But she never felt him or experienced him for years, until over 30 years later, he finally came to see her in full force during her sleep state. And it was worth the wait, because he appeared to her with hundreds of souls and angels and came to see her. So if you ask her to come and see you, then that will happen. But at the perfect divinity of time, it shall happen. And I shall say it will be worth the wait.
Okay, thank you. Then, yes, then there is Monica. She wonders if someone wishes not to come back to Earth, what happens to that soul?
Well, they will stay in spirit. And they will learn in spirit how to communicate with your world, of course, if they wish to. And they will learn many other things about communication and be with their loved ones and learn things and teach things from that side. Sometimes they will help people in distress across to the other side if they have passed in traumatic situations. They will do many different things, but they will only reincarnate if they wish to do so. And that is the soul's own decision.
Okay. Yes, this is really my question, but is it so that we are in the third dimension? So, and we incarnate here of own choice, I think. What is beneath that, and what is above? What are the other dimensions?
Well, yours is the most physical dimension. This is the dimension that is physical. And then, of course, you do have the lower realms of spirit, which are unfortunate, but these souls will keep reincarnating until they move through to the higher realms of spirit through correcting themselves in each physical lifetime that they shall live. They will just keep coming back until they get it right. But I would say that I wouldn't think that they dwell there permanently. If they are going to call out for help, then they will be taken into the light and they will only be loved. But they may need to reincarnate again to correct oneself. There, of course, there are, when you look at your Bibles with the people that are religious, there are many mansions. Well, those are the realms of spirit, you see, and they're not countable. But a lot of people would say, well, 12. If you're going to put it as a number, I would say 12. But there are many, many realms. There are unaccountable. I wouldn't even want to count them, you see, because there are many places in spirit. And of course, where the consciousness goes is the realm of the mind, the realm of the soul, the realm of the spirit. So it is limitless.
But the lower dimension, is it like Earth, or is it just darkness, or?
The lower dimension is like darkness, yes.
Okay, thank you. And then we have Kerstin. It's really a bit like Lotta's, but she wonders why she never gets to feel her husband around her. So it's really the same. But I wanted to ask it for her anyhow.
Well, yes, if she asks him to send her sign, then he will do that for her. He will send her a sign that he is around. Sometimes they are done in many different ways. Sometimes butterflies, birds, feathers, advertisements on the television, music, it doesn't matter what it is. Many ways that many signs can be given from our world. So if she asks him to send her that sign, he will do so. And then she will know that he is around.
Well, she'll be happy to hear that. And then we have Don. He has been in a group. It's a little bit difficult to this question. He wonders if we in the group have any role, because he means that we have an awakening now on Earth, and he wonders if we as teachers have any role in school.
Yes. Do you mean the role of the physical world? Or do
Yes.
you...
It's not I think it is in the physical. I don't know. He said about awakening. So
every person that awakens has a role. Every person has a role in this life, whether it be spiritual or not. You see, the soul's journey is the journey back to oneself in the physical form, and the love for oneself and empathy for others. So yes, your soul's journey will go through many lifetimes, and you all have a purpose for the greater good. You all help one another in this life. You all connect together as one, as a consciousness, without you realize it.
yes. And then we have Marika. She wonders about the fairies, how their dimension is, and have they karma as we do, or what?
Well, I would say that if you're going to be talking about fairies, they are how these angels are presented to the children, aren't they? If they're presented as fairies and pixies, then I think that your child's imagination could enjoy that and connect to that much easier. And sometimes an adult would enjoy connecting to that sort of childlike, innocent energy. And I think it is absolutely beautiful. So they are little spirits. I guess
What dimension are they in?
They are in the heavens, yes.
So they are not Earth, like in Earth.
A dimension, but heaven is one big dimension. And I would say that, many realms, as I say to you, that they come to visit young people and older people alike. They are seen as fairy stories, but the mind can put them any way that you want them to be put as, whatever makes one happy in their innocence.
Well, Jonathan, I know Elaine works hard, so I haven't any more questions. I could ask you hundreds, of course, but yes, because we forget everything here on Earth. But Have you anything you would like to share before you go back?
Well, I would like to say that the angels and our world are watching over your world. So anytime that you need us to send you a sign, or we listen to your prayers, they are listened to, and most of the time they are answered. Sometimes they may take time to be answered, but do not despair, they will be answered. So we are looking to heal in your world, and we realize what is going on. So please do not forget to connect with us. Do not feel alone. Do not feel afraid. We are here with you, and we love you. The veil of spirit is lifting, and this is part of the huge, great awakening of your world and the people in it and the heavens. We are going to be able to connect with you much easier than what we could have done before. But of course, we have connected with people on your earth for thousands of years. But we are here now during this great awakening. It is what was called the 2020 vision, I suppose. And if you're going to look at it from an earthly point of view of this great awakening, it can be explained in many ways. But I would say to you that the earthly awakening is the truths that are revealed in many ways, not in only in individuals, but in many people in your world. And of course, the spiritual truth will reveal itself through your spiritual awakening, through your connection to our world, if you wish to do that. We are not forcing it upon you, but it is the most wonderful experience that you could possibly have. And we are here with you every step of the way. Remember that we all love you from this side. We will never desert you. So we don't want you thinking that we're never coming to visit you. We are. Just be more open and ask for signs from us.
Well, thank you very much, Jonathan, and of course Elaine as well.
I thank you, and I'm sure she does too. And I wish you luck in your future interviews.
Thank you.
God bless you all.
Thank you. You're back, Elaine.
Yeah. Sorry, I take a bit longer sometimes. It just gets a bit harder to open your eyes. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Is it like to be asleep or what?
I don't go to sleep. I sort of I can hear him talking, but sometimes I forget things. And you know, it's like a long conversation where you forget things, and sometimes I see things like little movies inside my mind that they show me, places that I go to. And if I go a little bit deeper, I might experience them a little bit stronger. But no, I don't really go to sleep as such. On a rare occasion, I think once or twice I've sort of nearly gotten out of my body, and once I did get out of my body. But that's only happened a couple of times. It hasn't, I guess my reluctance sometimes hold me back, or they may want me just to stay as I am, and I'm quite happy with that, you know. I'm nosy anyway, so I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
I just like his voice, but if he wants to put me to sleep, then yeah, I'm quite happy to be put to sleep. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Oh.
Well, I didn't keep it so long, and I know you work a lot, so but I'm very pleased you could come today.
Oh, please do. You've got somebody else looking at you now through there.
Uh-huh.
It's very clear, actually. I can see a man that looks a little different now. He's kind of got a bit. Oh, he's nodding his head. Yes, he's actually nodding his head. I can see him. Maybe people that watch this will be able to see. He's sort of got his hair, thin hair, combed back, and quite sort of high brows here. Very high cheekbones, and he's nodding while we're talking, and a nice slender face. Got a nice looking fellow. He's looking through there, aren't you? Hello, it's good to see. So clear, my goodness. Those candles are amazing. They allow the spirits to sit in the middle of them and look through.
Yeah.
He's nodding as well, yes.
Yes, I think it's a good place for spirit to come there.
It is, yeah. I can see him quite clearly. You know? I can see him looking at me. I can see the eyes really clearly, the nose, the mouth, and it seems like he's trying to talk. I can see his mouth moving. Oh wow, that's incredible.
Maybe it's a relative or somebody.
It looks real, honestly. I can see the hair, the face, everything. I can see his mouth moving, and especially the eyes. I can see. If they watch that and look between the two candles, you can literally see a face. I've seen the different at the beginning. Now it's changed to this man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I will look at the video. Maybe it's only you what will see it, but.
Oh, yes, I hope they all see it too, because I could see it really clearly. Honestly, I can. Yeah.
They are nosy as well.
Yeah, they are. They're to you. They're amazing at getting through to you. They really are. They're very, very proud of what you're doing.
Yes, I'm pleased for that. Well, Elaine, I don't want to keep you all night.
That's all right, and thank you for having me on, and good luck with it.
I will be in touch. You know, I always do.
Oh,
And yes, I do. And I send people to you who wishes to speak to you, and that's okay.
That's fine, yeah. And I'm liking your new haircut.
Yes, I cut off my hair. I'm not quite used to it yet, but I had my fringe like that before, so now I cut it.
It makes you young.
Yes, well, I'm getting old, so you need to get a little bit younger. When you cut it, it looks a bit younger, actually.
Yes, it really does make you look younger.
Yeah. Well, take care, Elaine, and I'll see you on Facebook, and I'll see you in the future.
Okay, you have a lovely evening, and
the same to you. Pardon?
Best of luck with the next interview.
Yes, thank you. And don't forget to send me the name if you can remember.
Yes, I'll have a look on my list. You know, if they and to her, then I can remember her name then, and I'll send it to you in a picture of her Facebook. All right?
Okay. Thank you very much, and take care.
See you soon.
Yeah. Bye-bye. Bye.